Nice to see you guys again. I know I made a video earlier today, but I had to come and tell you about this one because, one, I got out for a walk at the Blue Run, which I don't get to do as often now that Katie has been taking Levi to karate almost every night because she's volunteering up at the karate studio, and that has had her bringing him up to town. But it's nice to have a chance to be able to get up here. She took the night off, so I brought Levi to karate, and it gave me a chance to get out here and go walking again. The thing I want to talk about today some is a video that I made a couple of days ago where I talked about how the hamburger meat I was buying from Walmart had an extra ingredient in it that I didn't notice at first. And it's right there on the label. People asked me in the last video, was it on the label? Yeah, it's on the label, but I just didn't think to look for it because I'm buying, you know, what looks like meat that they packaged here at the store. But turns out, I guess I should read the labels even when I'm buying that, because it had natural flavoring in it. And for those of you who have done some research, natural flavoring could literally mean almost anything. I mean, there's very little that could be excluded. If you can eat it, it can be included as a natural flavoring. And some of the worst things make it on the natural flavoring list, like MSG, vegetable oil, seed oils, soy also. So a lot of things that it could be that I definitely don't want to have in my diet. And I kind of had a little bit of a test last night because Katie made the rest of the burgers we had, and she had a couple of left over. And I thought, all right, I'll give them a try and see if it still does the same thing that happened before. And boy, was my stomach going crazy after that all night. Just rough on the guts. Woke up in the morning with a pain in my the area just above my belly button, and I know there's something in that meat that is really agitating my gut. So I've had to avoid the Walmart burger meat now, and going back to trying to find good deals on ribeye until I can buy another whole cow. I have a lot of you recommending, why don't you go buy another whole cow? Well, it's a little bit hard to come up with $3,500 all at once right now. So I've been putting that off, and I'm not going to buy just any whole cow. If I'm going to get a whole cow, I want it to be grass-fed, grass-finished, regeneratively farmed, not using any pesticides or antibiotics. And that's exactly what I get from my friend Big Mo up at Big Mo's Cattle. So check out the video I did on grass-fed, grass-finished beef back in, I don't know, it was summer of 21. But you can find it under the grass-fed, grass-finished deep dive, I believe it was, on my channel, and you can see all about that. Nevertheless, the burger meat was absolutely causing an issue. And this afternoon, I wanted to really test that theory, so I went ahead and made 6 eggs. And I started with the low-quality eggs that my wife buys for some reason. She likes to buy the Eggland's Best. And maybe she doesn't believe there's that much of a difference, but when I crack those eggs, it's like cracking open a piece of paper. When I crack open the eggs that I buy, the pasture-raised eggs, they're a lot harder. And they're not as hard as the ones that I usually get from the hens, the chickens that I raise. I've raised in the past anyway. So I know they're not as good as they could. Okay, you might notice I have a lot more sweat right now than I did just a second ago. That's because I was watching my video and I realized I left out the part about the eggs not causing any problems so far today. And still, even after all the exercise I've had, I still feel fine. So I don't think it was the eggs at all. I think the eggs are going to be fine for me, but maybe a couple more days of trying will be the key. Trying it without the hamburger meat to make sure. So we'll see. Now back to the guy who wandered off on some other topic or something. Or they're not getting enough oyster shell in their diet or something like that. But I can tell it's a heartier egg, and it's got a darker color to it. So I don't know, for what that's worth, it might be a richer texture to the egg itself that makes it actually higher in nutrients. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I've heard people say it, so it must be true. Well, isn't that great? I just did 50 squats on the bridge and didn't even record them. I thought I had it set to record. But anyway, I got 50 more to do. That is the first time, by the way, I have done 50 in a row. I've been doing 25 to 33 in a row even with the weight pack on. So to be able to do 50 when I couldn't do it before feels really good. Somebody asked me why I use the weights when I go walking or rucking, but because I also do my push-ups and my squats wearing the rucking weight, it really helps to build up the strength in the areas that need to have a little bit more. But that felt good. So we covered the ingredients in the meat, but I also wanted to talk about one more thing that I have not really heard anybody say specifically, that this was a side effect that they were having from doing a diet like Lion Diet or a carnivore diet. I mean, I've heard a lot of things. People have had a lot of illnesses with their gut go into remission, autoimmune illnesses go into remission, type 2 and even type 1 diabetes reversed. I've heard about people reversing Crohn's disease, rosacea, not getting sunburn easy. I've experienced that one as well, and several of the other ones. More energy. But the new one, that's interesting because I'm getting older and I expect that my wounds aren't going to heal as good as they used to when I was younger. But when I stubbed my toe the other day on that cinder block, I mean, I peeled off a piece of skin about that big, and I thought, oh boy, that's going to be, I mean, it was peeled back, it didn't actually come off. I'm sorry if this is gross, but normally when that happens, that flap dies and then I got to cut it off later. This time, as amazing as it is to me, because I've never seen it happen, it healed back to my toe. It grew back together where it came apart. I've not healed from wounds that quickly or that way before, so that was new. And then yesterday, I stubbed my same foot on the metal stairs going up to my RV, hitting my fourth toe, and I swear to y'all, I thought I broke it yesterday. It hurt so bad. That was when I made the video that I uploaded about the lab-raised meat and all that stuff. I would have been walking that day, except that I had stubbed my toe and it was killing me. And the next morning I thought, oh my God, it's going to be awful in the morning. But the next morning came and it hardly hurt at all. I had to really touch it in the right place to feel any sign of the injury that I had sustained the previous day. But nothing to indicate anything was broken or even bruised anymore. So I'm happy to say that I am noticing faster healing from wounds. And who doesn't want that? My father, when he was about 12 years older than me, developed a wound on his foot while working in a pool exercise, and that developed into a situation because he was a type 2 diabetic. He eventually had his foot amputated, and then even further his leg was amputated, and he wound up losing his life as a result of that. So a wound can be a very serious thing, especially when you get older or if you have issues. Well, knowing that I can recover from a wound like that now at a more advanced age, very comforting. As I'm going into these later years, got a young wife and kids to take care of, I've got to stay healthy. We got a country that's making all kind of wonderful decisions that are probably going to make all of our lives a little bit more difficult over the next few years. So it's going to help that I can recover from things, and you can have that. If you haven't already changed your diet or started exercising or both, what are you waiting for? If you've been watching my channel for more than 2 videos, you've heard me say it. Screw it. Get up and do it. Make it happen in your life. Stop waiting on somebody else to do it for you. Stop waiting on pleasure to come from watching stuff or doing something that is not bettering your body or your mind or your financial situation. Do something productive. You'll find that you're happier with yourself in general, and you'll be able to change the things in your life for the better. Even when things look like they're not going to work out, even when things look like the odds are stacked against you, you keep on pressing on, you keep on moving forward, you keep on getting stronger, and you can face the trials of today and the trials of tomorrow. And it's going to be people like you that are going to turn this country and this world around when all this mess settles out and they start realizing that all this climate change nonsense is just going to destroy us. I don't know that the powers that be will ever realize that, because they profit from it too much. But at some point, the people are going to get sick of it. It's starting to look like that now from some of the signs I'm seeing around the internet. So hang in there. There's a lot of people that realize we want our freedom, and we're demanding it, and we got to be strong enough to fight for it. I'll see you next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?